towards the Liverpool versus Arsenal tie, Mikel Arteta gave us a reason that maybe William Saliba might be one of those players that were going to return towards the game of Liverpool and obviously play part in that game of football, when he said that there is a player that might find himself into the matchday squad as they travel to Anfield. And we knew that the only player that is really ill that could make back soon was William Saliba, but obviously it looked like it was hinting about Erling Haaland, not William Saliba. So today we've gotten news coming in from the Arsenal sources that William Saliba is really a player that has not trained today, and finally a decision has been taken by Mikel Arteta. Welcome to Rokani Media Football. Welcome to the football news show here onto this channel. Smash the like button, comment and share. Rokani David is my name, and don't forget to subscribe. After subscribing, hit the notification bell. That will enable you to get notified every time I upload a video onto our YouTube channel. And obviously diverse, and I've just brought you a story of Man City beating Bayern Munich 3-0. Haaland, Lodri and Bernardo Silva on target, meaning that Man City are really having one leg into the semi-finals, and they might face Inter Milan because Inter Milan is going to have to beat Benfica 2 goals away in Portugal, and they have to go ahead and really report to the Milan, that is Italy, to see to it that they really get this done and dusted. So that's what it's all about as far as the Champions League games have gone ahead to get played today. But on Wednesday, it's obviously Real Madrid versus Chelsea. Then AC Milan versus Napoli. Those are the games that are going to be played today on Wednesday, and we'll be bringing you the latest update about those games of football happening down in Italy, and where I think it's going to be Italy and Spain. Now, Tierney going nowhere. There is an Arsenal legend that's gone ahead and really issued a statement onto the departure of Tierney, that is one of those players that should be kept at the club of Arsenal. And then lastly, there is N'Golo Kante being talked about and hailed by Frank Lampard towards their game they're going to play against Real Madrid. Let's see close to 200 likes smashed on this video, and let's get into the William Saliba story as being brought to us by Gary Jacob. He's a sports reporter, personal account. He works for the Times. He was the first one to let us know that William Saliba has not returned to training since sustaining a back injury and is unlikely to play against West Ham on Sunday. Arsenal are worried about rushing him back and are aggravating the issue. So when you look at Arsenal, they are really trying to take their time and obviously see what is going to come out of William Saliba, and they don't want to rush him back in that game they're going to play next. Now, again, Simon Collins, a correspondent of Arsenal for the Evening Standard, has confirmed to us that Arsenal defender William Saliba remains a doubt for the match against West Ham on Sunday. Arsenal are being cautious and will not rush him back, especially as they face title rivals Manchester City on April 26th. Meaning that the latest or the earliest that you can see William Saliba return to play for Arsenal is on the 26th of April, meaning that the next two games, William Saliba might not be involved in them. Against West Ham this Sunday, and the other Saturday against a side known as Southampton at Emirates. So he might be seen in the game of Man City. So Mikel Arteta and the technical team plus the physio team of Arsenal have made a decision of not hurrying William Saliba back, and they might see him back towards or on the game of Manchester City. That means he would have seen himself out for those are 26 plus 15 days, close to 40 days. How many weeks are those? Close to 7 weeks, meaning that he would have rested enough, and maybe he will be ready to return and play a very big role into this important season of Arsenal. But I think they've differed with me, because for me, I had told you that if at all Mikel Arteta would take a decision of really just getting what we call a painkiller, give it to his back, and play those 2 games. That of Liverpool, they played on Sunday, and the one of Manchester City. But maybe Mikel Arteta is a lucky man that even when he never had William Saliba in the game of Liverpool, he managed to collect 1 point away at Anfield. That was really great, and he found himself in a position of celebrating that, because a point at Anfield is really worth it, because very many teams have gone at Anfield and not even gotten a point. Man City didn't get a point. They lost 3. United lost 3. And in accompaniment of that, they saw themselves receive 7 goals past their net. That is it all about a man known as Mikel Arteta, and the decision is really making to really keep William Saliba. Now, the desperacy of his return would have been based on the statistic that Who Scored has gone ahead to provide to us about William Saliba, and that's why you would love to really listen or watch or have this into your head, that Arsenal are conceding on average 1.3 goals per game in the Premier League, since William Saliba's injury. Prior to Saliba's injury, Arsenal were conceding on average 0.93 goals per game in the Premier League this season, meaning that when Saliba is available, it's very hard for Arsenal to concede very many goals, Alright, they would have averaged 1 goal, but this time round, they're averaging more than 0.9 goals because of his absentia. And you now know why. Arsenal fans and the manager Mikel Arteta just want him as soon as possible, but they cannot force him back because he's just 21 years of age. He's just 22 years of age, and hurrying him back would cost his career a little bit. Do you know why? The injury might worsen, so the physical team is really telling Arteta, let's wait, and Arteta is in unison with him that they shouldn't do something that won't really be beneficial to the healing of William Saliba. Remember, William Saliba got injured when they were playing Sporting Lisbon at home in the 21st minute, and he walked off the field of play because he had a little bit of discomfort in his back. That happened after 13 minutes back. Tomiyasu had gotten himself injured, and his knee had really gotten a very huge problem, and he underwent a surgery that's going to keep him out until the end of the season. But William Saliba is having a lot of optimism to return, and Mikel Arteta has always told us that the player is going to return immediately, but we are not expecting that to happen because he needs some more 2 or 3 weeks to really return. But that will be so much important for him as a player, but for the club of Arsenal, it's going to cost them a little bit, because if Arsenal drop points when not having William Saliba, we'll all come out and tell you that it's all about William Saliba, who is out, that has seen a team called Arsenal crumble or implode at the back, and they are conceding 1.3 goals on average ever since William Saliba found himself out of that team. So let's leave that at that, and let's go to our next story about Tierney. Tierney is a player who has been linked to Newcastle and very many other teams after his spell of Arsenal really being problematic this season, not getting the enough playing time he deserves. But the Arsenal legend has gone out and really said lots of things about Tierney. It's Len Bitemi Maya. You know him very well. He played for Cameroon. He played as a right back for Arsenal for very many years. He was part of the invisible team that last won the trophy for Arsenal. In his words, he said, I don't see why he should go. If Arsenal don't need the money, why would you sell him? He's a very good player. We saw it against Spain in the recent international for Scotland, and he played very well. He understands the ideas of Arteta now, rather than being in the wide areas, tackling inside and being like another midfielder, being like another midfield player, receiving the ball from the center backs and then starting the moves from there. Now, for him, he's really calling in for Tierney not to be sold by a team called Arsenal. But I think he's defending him according to, or basing on to what he thinks the right back of Mikel Arteta should be. But I've told you, even in games when Tierney was supposed to start, Arteta never started him. The game over Sporting Lisbon, leave that one away from home because he was really having flu. I'm meaning the one that they played at Emirates. He brought him on in the 65th minute and took off Zinchenko. But in the game like that, you would expect Tierney to be given first priority ahead of Zinchenko to start, you know? I thought the games in the UEFA Europa League were meant for Tierney, and those into the Premier League were meant for Zinchenko to start. So the situation is not balancing, you know, and it will depend on whether Tierney is willing to stay at Arsenal to be a bench warmer, because I don't see him playing very many minutes, you know, because Arsenal is going to be playing the Champions League. And Zinchenko is one of those players that is really so much wanting to play the Champions League, obsessed, you know. And Arsenal might find themselves in a situation or in a group stage that will require Zinchenko to play like you saw Barcelona last time. Sorry, like you saw Barcelona in the Champions League this season. They found themselves in a group that had Inter Milan, Bayern Munich, Barcelona, and Pleasant, meaning that the only two games that will be available for Arteta to play Tierney will be those. But the other four, he will have to float in a player that obviously gets his job done cleanly as once, like Zinchenko. So I think I understand what Lauren Meyer is talking about, but I think Arteta has not given Tierney a chance to think of staying at Arsenal. The only thing the only option he is going to hate to give him is to really find his way out of Arsenal. So I expect at a percentage of 90% Tierney to leave a side known as Arsenal and really go to Newcastle, because he's going to be playing very many games. And if at all Newcastle qualify for the Champions League, that will put Tierney into a best spot for him to go there and play in the Champions League, because he also wants to play in the Champions League. And the team Newcastle would have shown him nerves that we want you. You are our first choice left back next season, not Ban, because Ban is very slow, and we want you to come in here and really do the game and play it very well, because in the previous 2-3 seasons in the Premier League, you've been one of the best left backs into the league. So we wait and see how that is going to be tackled by Mikel Arteta, Edu, and Tierney. Will Tierney be convinced to stay? I doubt. I'm doubtful about it, but it all remains in the hands of Tierney, because for Arsenal, they need him. Arsenal don't want to sell him. They want to keep him around, but for the player, he feels like he's not being respected because Arteta is not playing him regularly at the Emirates, even at the Emirates, and with the title charge. He believes that he's a very pivotal player who has gone ahead to really come on and obviously put in magical moments every time Arteta has put him on. Whether to play 10, 15 minutes or 20, he's still that man that has gone ahead to put in the shift every time Arteta called him to represent the team of Arsenal at All In this year's season of 2022-2023. Now, Chelsea is playing Real Madrid tomorrow or today, depending on where you're watching us from. And one of the players that was really rested as Chelsea was losing 1-2 to Wolverhampton Wanderers was N'Golo Kante, and we all knew the mission that N'Golo Kante was going to be used into the game of sorry about that, into the game of into the game of Real Madrid that's going to be played at Santiago Bernabeu. Now, Frank Lampard has told us that he's a special player, and I understand about consistency, and he's difficult with the injuries in terms of coming back and playing at a higher level. I've witnessed it in the Super Cup finals versus Liverpool years ago. He has the capacity to do that. That is Frank Lampard doing the needful and really hailing N'Golo Kante. To me, all in my opinion, I believe N'Golo Kante is going to be pivotal in the result that that Chelsea is going to get when they are playing away at Real Madrid. And I expect him to bring in Kovacic, Enzo Fernandez, and N'Golo Kante. Unless otherwise, he's injured and never traveled to Spain. But if it is a variable, obviously he's one of the most experienced players that will go ahead and really start into that beautiful game of football that's going to be played in the Champions League to see whether Chelsea can find themselves in the semi-finals of the Champions League or not. So guys, your thoughts onto Mikel Arteta making final Saliba return decision are welcome in the comment section below. What do you think about Tierney. As well, Maya calls in for him to stay. If Arsenal don't need to get the money, you know, do you think Tierney will really allow to stay at Arsenal? Because for Arsenal, they've shown that they want him to stay. But for Tierney's side and his representatives, I think at the age of 26, he wouldn't like to be a bench warmer at Arsenal. He would like to go out for a team to play. So your thoughts about him are welcome in the comment section below. And what do you think about N'Golo Kante, as Frank Lampard has gone ahead to really give him his props in the pre-match press conference ahead of the game of Real Madrid down in Santiago Bernabeu? I sign out for now. See you later. May the Almighty bless you abundantly. I'm out, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel. And my Muslim friends, Ramadan Kareem. Bye-bye.